Hey guys, this is Keenu J from canadadarshan1000. Today I will be talking about why immigrants are leaving Canada. So in the recent, few months, I have seen at least five of our friends, my friends, who left Canada. They were immigrants here, and they were from the European countries, and some were from South American countries. So I think this trend is getting a little bit, people are deciding to leave Canada. They are making decision to leave without have to face any challenges. So I will be talking about the reasons why people are doing that, why immigrants are doing that. I know a few people for sure. I know what was their situation, what were the reasons that they thought of leaving the country, leaving Canada. There are so many factors, but at the same time, I cannot talk about all the factors. I will just pick a few which I think are very important for immigrants, and if they can't cope up with those factors, they decide to leave. Don't get me wrong, Canada is a land of dreams. It is a land which has given opportunities to many people. It has made many people successful. There are a lot of success stories of immigrants in Canada. People are very happy, people are very established, but at the same time, there are few people, or there are some people who could not cope up with the change. They made the change to leave their country and come here, but they could not cope with the change. So that they were not ready, we can say they were not ready, and then they decide to leave. So don't get me wrong here, guys. I know it's one of the best countries to live. The quality of life here is beautiful. All the basic needs which we don't get in so many other countries, in Europe and around the world, we get them here. So many things are granted. The quality of life, I would say in one word, is excellent here. They respect people. There is a value of a human being. So all good things about Canada, and we love Canada, but at the same time, what goes wrong? Why people decide to leave Canada? I'm gonna pick up a few reasons why they do that. And before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell icon button for further notifications. Okay, so first of all, I will say the weather. As you can see here in the picture, in the video, this is cold. Right now it is cold. The weather is cold here for almost 6 months of the year. It snows, there is ice on the ground, there's a lot of snow on the ground. 6 months you can freeze. This snow right now is nothing. I call this nothing. The snow can actually go up to your knees, and the weather goes on extremes, meaning it can be minus 20 Celsius to minus 40 Celsius. So weather is a big factor. If someone's coming from tropical country, or they are coming from the country where the weather was not as extreme hot, extreme cold, so they find a big challenge here to cope with the weather. You have to go out, you have to dress up in layers. You just can't just go out. Some people back home, they just wear their shorts, they wear their flip-flops, and they're ready to get out. But you can't do that here for at least 6 months of the year. So it is a kind of challenge to adapt to this kind of weather. So weather is a factor. The next point I noticed, and I would say plays a very big role for immigrants to leave Canada is the loneliness and disconnection with their families. So sometimes what happens is people leave their families back home, people leave their friends back home, they have to come and settle themselves. They just come alone to get settled, to have a decent job, to have a decent house before they call their families. Or sometimes even immigration takes time for them to call their families. So when the person is here alone, or even when the person is here with the family, if the person is here alone, they miss the family, of course, and then they miss their friends. If the person comes here with the family, they definitely miss their friends, because when you come here, you don't have any friends, and then it takes efforts to make friends. You have to be on the same page. People are very nice here, people are very friendly here, but at the same time, you need to make effort to make new friends. So that is a big challenge. People feel very lonely. You have to be in the house by yourself, and you feel lonely. Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to have conversations? Who are you going to socialize with? So that plays a big role. The next important reason I find is the financial difficulties. So what that means, the financial difficulties is when any immigrant moves to Canada from their home country, they come here. Sometimes they have job already offered to them. Sometimes they have to come here and look for a job. When they have job offered to them, sometimes they think it is very hard to manage in the amount they are given in the beginning, in the start. They have to find a house, they have to rent or buy a house, their groceries, their needs. Maybe they were spending more money more freely back home. They have to restrict here. Everything is expensive here. You have to buy everything. You pay for water, you pay for everything. In some countries, you don't pay for many things. Taxes are high here. So the financial difficulties can be a challenge. And if you don't have a job, you brought a certain amount of money with you. So you are always thinking, oh, when I run out of this money, so I have to do something before I run out of that money, or I have to spend it wisely, for a longer time. So financial difficulty is one of the another reason which I think helps the immigrants to leave Canada. The next one, I think, is the medicine and dental. So by saying medicine and dental, you go and see the doctor here. It's free to see the doctor. You pay with your tax money for that. It's not free. We pay the tax, and then that is taken care of to see the doctor. So it's free when you see a doctor. You don't have to pay a dime out of your pocket. But when you have to buy, if you're sick, if you need medicine, if you have to be in the hospital, or you need more prescription, meaning you need more medication to get rid of whatever condition you have to buy those medicines, and those medicines are not free. You have to pay for that, and that can be very expensive. That is a the big chunk of your salary can go in buying the medication. So that is a big factor. And also, if you happen to see a dentist for cleaning your teeth or for any other issues, there is a lot of money you need to pay to the dentist. It's very, very expensive here. I have seen a lot of my European friends going back home. They buy a ticket, go back home, they visit their families, and they get the dental done from back home. They say it's cheaper than here. So that's another issue. Education is another issue. Before, the government was, especially in Ontario, government was giving a lot of grants to the kids who are going to go to the university or colleges. From grade 1 to 12, the education is free here. So now in Ontario, the grants are not as attractive. So that's another reason people think, oh, they get discouraged. So how we are going to cope up with that? The next issue can be high real estate prices. Okay, you come here, you buy, you get a job, you're established, you're getting decent salary. Now you want to buy a house. Even to buy a decent size starter home, you need few $100,000, maybe $500,000. And to buy a big house, you need millions of dollars, especially in big countries. So, the big cities. So all the big cities have big jobs, like a lot of jobs there. So if you're living in a big city, you have to spend a lot of money for the real estate. So that's a big challenge. And the next challenge, I think, is raising the kids. So people, when they come here from other countries, we were definitely raised a different way, and we do expect that our kids are going to be raised the same way, but no, it is not true. Kids are raised here different way. They have a lot of freedom from the society and everything. You cannot you cannot do certain things which we could do when you were back home. There are restrictions, or the societies who work for child welfare, they'll be after you. So you have to be very careful. Kids can tell you to shut up here. You're not used to listening that back home. Kids need to respect there. That's what we assume. So we were brought up in a different way, but the kids here are brought up in a different way. So sometimes it is a very big challenge for the parents to see how big a difference that is, and they don't feel comfortable raising the kids here, especially when they are younger. So they decide to move back or leave Canada. Actually, one of our neighbors, they moved back to New Zealand just for that reason. They said when my kids are a little bit older, they might decide to come back. Socializing is another factor, meaning that it's a great country. People are very friendly, as I said, but then you don't have the same group or same interest. You have to find people of the same country or same language, same culture, and that can sometimes be a little bit of challenge. Starting from scratch is the biggest challenge. Maybe you were a doctor back home, maybe you were an engineer back home. You're coming here, you might have to wash windows, you might have to work in Tim Hortons, you might have to work in a gas station or drive a taxi or a cab. So that is a big challenge. Do you have the same status when you come here? It will take you a few years, and then some people do get discouraged. Oh, they were better off there. Why they have to start here from the scratch? So that is another big challenge. So these are the factors which I think they really play a big role in deciding making the decision to leave Canada for immigrants. And the other thing I would say is when people think of moving to Canada, lot of agencies, lot of friends, lot of social media, there's lots which is promised to come to Canada. Everything looks very nice, everything looks very rosy, but when you actually come here, things are different. You have to earn all those things. You have to work hard to get in there. Nothing is there in a plate for you and waiting for you. You just come here and start using it. No, it does not work here. You have to work hard. Sometimes people do promise, oh, you come here, this is what it is like. Yes, this is what it is like, true. But you have to earn it. You have to work hard. You have to start from scratch. You have to be willing to adapt to the weather, to all the conditions, all the points I just discussed. So those are big issues, guys. And I would also say that sometimes the immigration agencies back home, wherever our back home is, or for the student visa agencies which are helping students to come and study here, they promise a lot, and most of the time those promises are not right. So I would say that yes, go take their professional advice, but at the same time do your homework. Make sure that you are coming to a new country and you have some kind of research, that you know things from other ways than those agencies or from what your friends say. So make sure that you are prepared. When you are prepared, when you are determined, Canada is a beautiful country with beautiful people, and it'll make you a successful person if you're willing. So make sure that when you get here, you're ready to mingle in the culture and you're ready to sacrifice some things which we've been doing there back home. I hope you liked the video, and stay tuned for more, and I will leave you now. Much more to come. Bye for now.